Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and if there wasn't enough drama and discourse with everything going on with Valve and Steam as far as games getting pulled based on censorship, how about another issue that Steam is facing in the form of exploitation of DMCA, that is the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, and how it affects mods within Steam Workshop. So we'll talk about that. This is something that's been a bit of a pitfall with DMCA for a very, very long time, but now it is affecting Steam. I'm assuming it's been affecting Steam for a while, but it's gaining some attention as Game Pressure does have a post about it. So we'll talk about that, and also gotta talk a little bit about the BF6 open beta numbers. Whoa, dude! Hitting some pretty massive numbers over the weekend, and it lapping every Call of Duty game ever. Pretty impressive stuff, so we'll get to that at the end of this video. But as noted on Game Pressure, DMCA is being utilized within the Steam modding scene, and specifically Steam Workshops, and it looks like it's majority false DMCA claims of just trolls using it. You know, and it's like, we can hate on the trolls. Trolls are gonna be trolls. People are gonna be wild whenever, you know, you could do whatever. It's on Steam and Valve to have some sort of process to mitigate the trolling. DMCA has been used to file bogus copyright claims attacks against mods. Now, Games Pressure notes specific mods that have been hit are the UI overhaul dynamic for Stellaris, the Chinese version of Perfect Wallpaper for Wallpaper Engine, Stormdark UI for Terraria, and Prop Hunt Hide and Seek mod for Gary's mod, and X Reanim's base for Left 4 Dead as well. In each case, Valve issues a warning to the mod's creator and requests proof that their work doesn't infringe on anyone's rights. That's the issue right there with DMCA. It is on the onus of the creator to give you proof or whatever, and the one filing the DMCA, usually it's a pretty simple process to file a DMCA, and you're good to go. Boom, anybody can do it, and it's not a big deal, and then it's on the individual to be like, alright, let me figure this out, let me try to prove my innocence. I don't even know if Valve goes through a process of verifying every DMCA claim. I would assume they don't, in the sense that I'm sure they're getting flooded with a lot of requests and claims like that. How do you filter which one's legit? Or is it somebody just looking at them, all right, we're gonna send this out, send that out, it's not like due diligence is gonna be done on the end of Valve. At least I assume it wouldn't. They're gonna send out the email, they're gonna hope the modder responds, and what happens if it's an older mod, which Games Pressure points out? What happens if it's an older mod that's been kind of abandoned, but people still download it, and then the creator just, you know, maybe they moved on with their life, but the mod still exists. It's not in their absolute priority to make sure the mod is going to stay on the platform. Well, then what happens? And it was noted on the site, many mods are old and their creators might have never seen Valve's messages, whether because they've moved on from Steam change accounts or simply aren't active anymore. And exactly that is a problem. It is worth noting that most of these Steam Workshop claims are baseless, but the DMCA often ends up being wielded as a weapon in conflicts between moderators themselves. One example is the Hearts of Iron 4 mod, along with Rising from Darkness. It's based on an older mod called The Fire Rises. The teams behind both those projects began arguing some time ago, and the conflict escalated to the point of The Fire Rises developers filing a DMCA complaint against the other team. Now, eventually, they worked things out, but the DMCA claim was never withdrawn, and the abuse of the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, again, this is something that's been done for quite a while, especially, you know, how do you identify the actual description of what is considered transformative work versus what isn't. That is something that is debated a lot, but Steam as a platform has to do the due diligence to make sure the DMCA claims aren't being abused, and it just feels like at this point there are some issues with that, so hopefully Valve will get that under control as far as the modding scene is concerned. Alright, moving on from that, Battlefield 6's open beta really kicked off on Saturday as far as the early access ending goes. I know a lot of people are going to be like, early access, all you had to do was watch 30 minutes of Twitch. I know multiple people in my personal life that got gated out of playing the Battlefield 6 beta. Like, they downloaded the beta, were ready to play it on Friday because they heard about it, and then they found out that it was tied to these Twitch drops, and then they ended up not playing the game. I'm telling you guys, that's gonna be a bit of a barrier. Not everybody's fiending on Twitch. Not everybody wants to go through through another hurdle to get access to their games. You see how many sales numbers of a game are slashed when you're told to install the Epic Game Store. Like, brother, not everybody is gonna go on Twitch and get a Twitch drop. A lot of people just ain't about that, and that went to show because on Saturday, the game peaked at 521,000 concurrent players on Steam. This is beating out every Call of Duty game ever in terms of peak concurrent player count on Steam. Now, Call of Duty, I would say, is a franchise that is more so tied towards console. Whereas Battlefield, I think people play Battlefield on consoles, but I do think Battlefield has such a bigger base on PC than Call of Duty, and Call of Duty is super strong on console. Console is a more casual platform, so naturally, it's gonna attract a very casual-oriented game, but I think Battlefield is doing a great job of having an identity, bringing back the identity of Battlefield, and I've said this over and over again, for an alternative product, what it needs to be is something that has an identity and offers an alternative to the market leader. The market leader in the multiplayer military shooter genre is Call of Duty. I don't think that's going to change overnight, but Battlefield offering some sort of alternative, and on top of that, this year's Call of Duty absolutely being a meme Call of Duty release. On top of that, by the looks of it, they aren't going to stop with the skins and the monetization of the game. BF6, while it's going to have monetization, I get it. We got to find this happy middle ground that I know where the bread is made. I get the live service element, the battle passes, the monetization of these games. That's a reality that I'm sorry, you guys, at this point, you just have to accept. We are not getting around that. That is where the bread is made, and they want to make money passively. We cannot do anything about that at this stage of the game. Battlefield's gonna have it, Call of Duty's gonna have it, Splitgate's gonna have it, a lot of games are gonna have it, because that's where ultimately they can make a lot of revenue on the back ends. But ideally, we would like to get to this middle ground where, yeah, you can monetize the game, but let's not completely destroy the identity and integrity of the game like I feel like Call of Duty has done with all of its partnership, Nicki Minaj skins or whatever, and like Rick and Morty skins. It's like, bro, some people are into that. Not me. I don't need that in my military shooter. I don't need crazy skins like that. Monetize the game, make it, make your money. I get that. Make the fundamentals the focus, and I think with Battlefield 6, we have the fundamentals that focus. And also, I gotta say, they've done an incredible job with promotion of this game. I know that not everybody wants to dissect game trailers and whatnot. The debut trailer for Battlefield 6 in terms of that, and it was really revolving around the campaign. Like the trailer that was in-engine but didn't have any gameplay with the music attached to it. Like, that is how you do a trailer. Whenever I see a game trailer done right, because you see the Prince of Persia Lost Crowns of the world, you see the Concords of the world, that when I do see a Battlefield 6 just like slam dunk, home run, whatever you want to say about it, do it right, I'm like, bro, it's not that hard. Can we just accept it's not that hard? If Battlefield 6 could figure it out and really set the tone for what this game was going to be, other games should be able to figure it out as well, and I just thought they did a great job leading up to the game, and they went into gameplay, they did the open beta, release is 2 months away. Like, that's how ideally these things should be done. And, you know, it really does feel like Battlefield is back. And I've gotten multiple messages from, like, people that played Battlefield in 2011 with Battlefield 3. And back then, I remember BF3 coming out and being like, oh my god, I want BF3 to dethrone MW3. How crazy is it that 14 years later, I really think there's a chance, not for Call of Duty to get dethroned, but for Battlefield to be the real standout this year, especially on the online discourse, which is ultimately a minority of the overall audience, but it's still very cool to see Battlefield finally back, because after the 2042s, the Battlefield 5s of the world, I didn't know if we were ever going to get to this day, but yeah, Vince Zampella seemingly has done it again, so there you go with that, 521K. It will be interesting to see where we settle out when the game comes out, because the game's going to be a $70 title. This was a free open beta, but we'll see how those things turn out. Monster Hunter Wilds had a free open beta as well, and the game ended up peaking way higher for the official release than it did with the open beta, so something to consider there. But that's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hopefully, Valve figures out the issues with their DMCA claims and the modding issues. So hopefully, that'll get ironed out. And BF6 is going to be an absolute juggernaut of a release. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.